Oi, Lewis, dickhead! No. 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 Beth!
What? Luke, man. What's this?
You've lost a piece of your pizza.
Oh, that's fine. Luke, yeah. Yeah. What was this?
Apologies. I had to just stop my girlfriend dog from getting some pizza there. Just had our food. Apologies about that. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. The god's not angry. The, Look! Get away from the pizza! Every time I look behind, this man's got some Philly cheesesteak pizza. What the hell is going on there? But yeah, Honey Badger in the Mercedes is in 11th. He lost the Tier 2 title on the final day to Dude. Currently, well, who won because of his teammate in the end. Mortal ended up winning that Tier 2 race. Dude ended up becoming champion as a result. It's a Tier 2 champion in the Viper. Then you've got Capale, who starts in 15th in the Mazda RX Vision. Owen in the Gen X, who starts in 14th. And BX that starts at the back of this grid, because BX is an absolute alien who should realistically win this race without much of a chance for anyone else. But we'll see how all this unfolds. Very much expect BX to cruise control this, but that might not be the case. Might have get into an incident or two. But we know nonetheless that everything is going to be pretty interesting in this one, I think. And yes, Otto, you could have been here. You could have been here, but 2 P40s in the final race is not going to do your not going to do your causes any good there whatsoever. Say that much. But yeah, so it's currently 5 past. I think we're waiting. I think everyone is in. Let me just do a very quick question to the event chat. That way everyone is ready. Would be ready to go. Oh, would be ready to go if Owen would get his car back in. Would be appreciated. Yeah, you don't have to rub it in, Lotto. You don't have to rub it in. I still came third in the championship. I'll take that.
Yeah, but it doesn't entitle to a race of champions, does it?
Is Otto's account your burner account or something? I think everyone's saying that they're ready. So we're going to put in the starting soon message into the chat. I obviously won't be entering because I'm doing the comms, and doing the raids and the comms at the same time is probably not the greatest idea in the world. And yes, this is going to be
you should do it for charity, because it'd be funny.
going to be a pretty dry race by the looks of things. And no, it's not dual comms. It is not dual comms. But it looks like everyone is ready, so we are going to get underway. Very quickly, I'm double checking everything is right in terms of the starting, in terms of the settings. Do this every time, it's nothing new here. Everyone must use a set of every single available racing tyre. So let's go. Ready is such a strong word from JMSL. It doesn't matter if you're ready or not. You're getting to go now. 30 laps of Suzuka. Right, here we go. Looks like we're getting a few lights now. 4 starts will be penalised. Hopefully we're actually going to get going. So, hopefully the game loads up. It had a tendency to do this before. But, right, so we're ready to go. It's 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go here on lap 1 of 30 at Suzuka. And look at that Ford's flying start off the line. It also looks like Moose got a very good start off the line as well. He's up into second. Jin's on the inside here. Both the BMWs, second and third now. And you got Turty in fourth, tier 6 champion, not getting good off the line. That Porsche not having a fun time. JMS getting a little bit all over the place out of turn 1. It looks like G-Dan also got through. Turty just falling all the way through the grid. The Viper getting a good start, but he's collided with Peaky, who had gone service or slightly off the track, and via the Viper dude is off the track. Off to the back of the grid already. Didn't even get past the S of the first sector of Suzuka before Peaky and the dude have come together. And wow, so that's not a good start there for Dude in the Viper. BX up into 10th as well. We're looking through. Oh, his skills is off the gravel. It went off into the gravel now as well, and he is now right at the back as well. It doesn't look like he's managed to get his car out very quickly. So he's going to join straight to the back. We've got Moose in the lead. He's on medium tyres. Same with JMS. Hards for G-Dan at the start of this race. You got Jin on the mediums as well. He did 4th. Peaky versus Owen. 5th and 6th right now. They go through towards Spoon Corner now. And it looks like Peaky's going to hold on against that Genesis for a split second until, there you go, Peaky too deep. Peaky off the track, and I think there's multiple people who followed him. I think Honey Badger's followed him as well, and I think Turty also off the track, so a bunch of people have gone straight on through there. And we continue through the first lap of this, and this grid has already been shaken up quite drastically. G-Dan got himself in front of Jin, who's gone way off the track there. What they are is not having a fun time as Owen goes to the inside here at the final chicane, and he gets it done with ease, taking advantage of Jin's mistake. And, well, there goes the Hyundai Genesis, the Gen X, sorry, all the way up into 4th on the first lap of this race. BX up into 6th as well. Bosnian sits behind him. Peaky in 8th. Honey Badger in 9th. Going to be Tier 1 next season if he drives. Let's see what... Oh, that looks like he goes straight to the back of Peaky, but Peaky relatively unaffected by that. You know, Bill Fees, Skinsy in his Golden Galaxy Mazda there, as we go through with 30 on the back of him. And you got Dude 30, you got Skittles 40 for Capale 50. What has happened to these three? Capale at the back now. He's on soft, so I think he may have actually pit. It looked like he had in fact pit off the first lap on this of this race. So we're through one lap. That was chaos. And I don't think we're done quite as yet. Here comes Owen, who looks to the inside before the hairpin, but now has to settle behind G-Dan through said hairpin until he can see if he can get a better exit here on the inside line, follow to the outside of the followed corner on this hairpin, and down towards Spoon's corner they'll go after this. Whether or not Owen's going to be able to make a move, he did this time last lap when Turty went wide, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case with G-Dan here. G-Dan doing a good job to hold off Owen in 3rd place here. As he looks to the outside of Spoon's curve, and I don't think this race will have stewards. I think you're going to ask the stewards about that one. Here we go, Owen to the outside, here down towards the 3rd to last corner on the lap. G-Dan on the inside, Owen on the outside, and Owen kind of backs out a little bit there. Just G-Dan getting in his way at every available opportunity. He's done it again. G-Dan putting on quite the good defence there through the first couple of laps here against Tier 1 opposition. G-Dan right now a Tier 4 driver last season, looking to be promoted, most likely will get promoted given the fact that he won a couple of races when he actually started showing up in the Tier 4 season. He had a pretty good race, a couple of races toward the end, and here comes Owen to the inside of turn 2. And it looks like the outside is on the following corner, and then the long right-hander there gets Owen through eventually. And Owen finally up into 3rd. G-Dan put on one hell of a defence through a couple of laps there, but it's just too much to ask for G-Dan there. And now he's got the favourite for this race right on the back of him. And quite frankly, oh, and there goes G-Dan! G-Dan has spun his way off the track. I'm not entirely sure how that happened. He has spun his way off the track there. Peaky gone through, and Skinsy just barreled through Turty, and they go into the first of the Deckners. And Skinsy has waited for Turty here. It's just got his braking point wrong in every single facet there. Nothing right in that one corner. Absolutely barreled through the Porsche like it didn't exist. We currently go back through the grid to see what is going on here. We've got a three-way battle going on between... oh, we've got a yellow flag as well. And that is JMS. JMS is off the track. He's gone into the gravel this time. This time at Spoon's curve. And this is not a good time if you're in the lower tiers whatsoever. They're just getting absolutely decimated off the start here. It's not a good place to be. Well, we've always had that one or two people in a race of champions that could usually put the lower tiers on the map against the higher tiers. But this time, it doesn't look like we're getting that kind of thing. It looks like we're going to get a lot of the front guys heading straight to the front of this race. However, Moose King is still there. Tier 4, the Tier 5 champion, no, Tier 5 runner-up even. Would have been Tier 5 champion had he not missed 2 straight weeks. Oh, Jin goes a bit deep there with the Tier 5 champion, having a bit of a nightmare in the S's here. Here comes Bodnian on the inside. Honey Badger trying to force his way through as well. And Jin's gone deep again. And that will allow for Bodnian to go through. And it will also allow for Honey Badger to go on the inside and make an absolute, meal of the first sector there. But will get by in the end after Jin made multiple mistakes. It allows both the Merc 20s through. Both the Tier 2 Merc 20s, shall I say, as you can tell by the corresponding liveries, one in the orange with the Rising Lions on it, one in the silver. You got Owen Owen fighting for the lead of this race now. Here comes Owen against Moose. Soft for Owen, who goes very deep here into the corner before Spoon's Curve, and medium still on the car of Moose King, who is still fighting his way until he got off the track, and he's gone deep, and he's gone round. Oh no, never mind, he's actually managed to save that somehow. That is an impressive save, but it isn't going to stop Owen from driving into the distance. Owen on the soft gets ahead of Moose, so you've got hard tyres for BX in third, which is considerably good news for him. Hard on Bodnian and on Honey Badger there as well. Going into lap, well, we're about to go into lap 5 of this race, and we'll see what can be done. Here comes Honey Badger to the inside of Bodnian, and bearing in mind they're not teammates anymore, so whilst we wouldn't have seen many moves like that in the season, we will see them go hammer and target each other this time round. You can see Honey Badger to the inside there was not giving his teammate any sort of grace in this race whatsoever. Here comes Bodnian fighting straight back. Jin also trying to get his name in here as well. And I think there might have been a little bit of contact between the two Mercs. It looked like a little bit of dirt was kicked up. Bodnian is having a nightmare trying to get his car back on the track. I think Honey Badger may have just hit the back of his ex-teammate. I'm not entirely sure. I'll need a second replay of that one. But Honey Badger up into 4th nonetheless. Won't be complaining too much. And Jin won't be either. Here comes the yellow flag. And that's Moose. That is Moose, who is facing the wrong way at the top of the hill at the end of Sector 1. And there you go. Well, I said it before. Usually there's one in the lower tiers that is there to represent the lower tiers. Have a good race, and it's just not happening today. It is just not happening whatsoever. As all, well, 2 of the 3 of the Tier 1 representatives hit the front pretty much immediately. Honey Badger, the runner-up for Tier 2, also in the top 3 right now. And then you've got Tier 5 Jin, Tier 4 JMS, 4th and 5th. And it took them a surprisingly amount of laps to actually get somewhere here, BX and Owen. They're Tier 1, but I didn't think it would be this situation quite so soon, given that both of them are very much in the distance already. And this gives me a perfect time to go through the rules. For anyone who hasn't experienced a Race of Champions stream, race, or been a part of any of this yet, for Race of Champions, it's a little bit different to the races in the normal season. In the normal season, it's 40 minutes, and you can use 2 different compounds of tyres and move on. But in here, it's a little bit longer. It's a 30-lap race. You can see in the top left. And in turn, Jin making a little bit of a mistake there in turn 1. JMS not close enough to take advantage of it, though. as you can see, there were 6 laps through that, and every single driver, you see the difference in tyres as well, has to use at least one lap on every available tyre compound, soft, medium, hard, unless it rains. If you pit while it's raining, I have to explain it again from last Race of Champions, if you pit while it's raining, it will immediately remove any other tyre compound requirements in the race at all. So, yeah, I'll have to keep an eye on that. Bonyin, who's just about defense for Filthy. I think he might have actually just got past Filthy in the end, actually, going into the first of the 2 Deckners as JMS gets past on Jin as well. It looks like JMS, there you go, to the inside of the corner before the hairpin, and he's going to allow Jin to fight this back. Both the BMWs fighting it through the hairpin, and I think JMS has just had a slightly better exit there on the outside, and you get the better exit on the outside of the hairpin, and you're going to be able to hold that position right through until the famous corner here. Spoon's curve, and that is just Jin going right through the back of JMS. Luckily, JMS not actually affected by it whatsoever. Also a little bit of a bump draft here from Bodnian on Jin. Or that's what it looked like. It looked like they were already through the corner, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it's okay to bump draft someone while they're out of the corner, but you're going into the corner, you're not allowed to hit the back of someone's car. That's a certain. Alright, we go through the first lap, and just got my attention dragged sideways a little bit there. Go through, here comes Bodnian on Jin. It looked like Bodnian going to go to the inside on Jin here. Jin covered that off well, just about enough to keep it within bounds as well. So Jin holds on to 5th for now. You've got JMS in 4th. At the moment, just in front of this battle, with Bodnian and Filthy, and I think that's G-Dan, the FT1 at the back of the pack as well. We've got a 5-car battle here. The guys at the front, 1, 2, and 3, very much set in their own little world at the moment. We've got a little battle going on in the back as well. A couple of interesting things developing through the first sector here. We'll continue to watch this though, considering this is probably the closest battle we have available in this race at this point in time. Just a bit of an update on the tyres for each of the cars. Mediums for JMS as Bodnian looked to the inside of Jin for a minute there and doesn't get it. So Jin on mediums as well, hards on Bodnian's car. And then you've got Filthy who's on the mediums and G-Dan on the hards at the back there as well. Currently about a second off, moves a further 4 seconds off the pace there. So we go through Bodnian. Go through Bodnian's POV and so he goes up against Jin now, looks to the inside, doesn't look to the inside, actually just has a better run. Full stop then Jin through Spoon's curve and go through the up into the final sector of this lap now. Head down to 130R. And it looks like Bodnian is not going to be able to get past Jin here. Jin just doing a decent job in the BMW to hold off the Merc, who's gone to the inside. A little bit of contact on the way through there, but Jin just does excellently defend that position in the chicane, and wow, that's pretty well done there by the BMW in order to hold on to 5th place. Looked a little bit late there by Bodnian, but not really much of a problem as long as nothing comes from it. Bodnian again, just getting into it just a little bit too much there with Jin, and having to pay the price. He's had to drop a little bit back now. As we go through Sector 1, Jin is still in 5th place for now. Bodnian in 6th, who needs to get himself in front because he's currently being held up by the drivers from slower tiers directly in front of him. You know, Filthy also in there as well, who might be looking to pounce on a mistake if there is one to come. You know, Owen, BX must have had a bit of a problem. BX has had a problem. BX has got damage. Oh no, BX must have spun. BX has dropped himself to 3rd. He got damage at the front. It was the front right that had the damage. Peaky's having a conversation mid-race, which is a rather interesting way of going about things. BX had damage. He dropped himself behind Honey Badger, who now has Owen in front of him. Owen has an 11-second lead of this race as we go back to the fight for 5th place. I'm not entirely sure where that BX damage came from, but it couldn't have been too old if he still had the damage when we switched on to him. That might turn out to be huge later on in this race. We're going through down the straight now. Bodnian is still looking at Jin and still not able to get by. And it looks like there may have been a problem and Bodnian's in the wall. Bodnian could not get himself off the AstroTurf. And straight into the wall goes the Merc. Owen has now pitted off the soft tyre. Anyone else going in? Doesn't look like it. At this point in time, the mediums stay on Jin's car. You got hard on the Honey Badger, hard on BX, who's now 3 seconds behind the Tier 2 runner-up. We'll see if that's going to have anything that comes into play. Jin up in the third. JMS must have had a little bit of a problem as well. JMS having a little bit of a hard time holding his position here. Jin up in the third. JMS in fourth now with Filthy and G-Dan. Will G-Dan go for this? It doesn't look like it actually went for that in the first of the in the second as the S's, sorry, here at Suzuka. Going up the hill now as the Filthy is looking for a way by, I think is maybe the best way of putting it. If he can get a way by on the Tier 4 driver here, JMS. I believe JMS came 5th in the Tier 4 season. Oh, and that did not look good! That did not look good! It's a penalty for JMS and a little bit of a half spin, I think, there for Jin. And Jin is going to sacrifice a position, maybe two, as we got a little bit of accordion effect going on here. Jin having Filthy bounce on the back of him, and then G-Dan pushing Filthy back through the hairpin as well. And by all three of those just having a bit of a moment right now. Bodnian right back there, and Owen has got himself an entire pit stop advantage on Bodnian now. We go back up toward the front. JMS has a penalty. He'll drop to the back of this group. You know, Jin behind that, Filthy, and then G-Dan, and I think there's someone having a bit of a mare on the gravel there on the exit of Spoon's Curve, and it's Moose King again. The same corner that did him earlier will do him again. And that is not good news for Moose King. The Tier 5 runner-up is having a awful day at the office right now. That's his second spin of the day at the very least from what I've seen so far. Still only the one pit stop at the front of the grid. And that one was for Owen, who's currently set himself in 8th. Set himself a 2 flat time on the soft tyres. Oh, it looks like JMS has gone deep again. Not enjoying those medium tyres right now as they start to fall off the BMW. You know, Jin here still hanging on to third with for dear life right now, with Filthy right on the back of him, and G-Dan leading the Tier 4 drivers. As those two both not, I think it was 5th and 6th in the championship in the end. Me and Amy, 3rd and 4th, both in fact did not win a race and therefore not eligible to be in this race tonight. Jordy and CCK not actually able to participate because of other commitments. So, here we go. Jin still hanging on from Filthy. And it looked like Jin may have gone a little bit deep there. Same with Filthy. You don't want to be on the AstroTurf for too long if you can avoid it. And you've got G-Dan in 5th. JMS in 6th. Capel is starting to work his way back through the pack. He was, well, at the back early on. Don't know if he's pit. Admittedly, it's hard to keep an eye out on everyone's tyre changes. Filthy getting really close now to Jin. G-Dan just picked up a little bit. Jin has gone deep. I don't know if he was forced deep though. Couldn't tell from that camera angle if Filthy got a little bit of a touch on the back of that BMW. Either way, Filthy's gone on through, but here comes G-Dan as well. The FD1 is good in a straight line, so we're about to see whether or not G-Dan can just blitz by that Lexus. He will do. And G-Dan takes advantage of whatever the hell happened in Spoon's Curve and gets himself up into 3rd place. Jin to the inside of Filthy here as well. And Jin back up into 4th without much of an issue whatsoever. BX now comes off of his hard tyres. We're on lap 10. I think we're about to go into lap 11 actually. Yeah, so we've done 10 laps of this race, so a third of the way through. BX has done a third of the way with his hard tyres, which is a very interesting proposition. I'm not entirely sure how long those mediums will last, but we'll wait and see how long he can make them last in the ending of this race. Surely you don't want to do 10 laps on the hards if you can avoid it, especially when he's already spun. So BX onto the medium tyre now. And you've got this group of drivers fighting, and JMS has got a bit wide. He's got a very wide there, and just about enough to keep his car on track even. With Owen and Capel, and he got off track again as Capel goes to the inside. And Capel up into 5th without much of a challenge from JMS there. JMS got it all wrong. Owen also having a little bit of a tap there on the back of the BMW. People just having to watch what they're doing right now. It could definitely end up in a massive collision if they aren't careful. So Capel up into 5th. Owen has already pit. I'm not entirely sure if Capel has. If Capel hasn't, then Owen's almost gone an entire pit stop through the rest of this grid. Everyone has to pit 3 times. They have to pit twice, sorry. That does not sound good. That did not sound good. It's Capel. It's Capel having a bit of a mare up into Spoon Curve there, and he's got it wrong. He's dropped it to 6th again. So JMS takes back the position that was originally his at the beginning of the lap anyway. As we're currently looking into, well, we're definitely into pit territory as Honey Badger now comes off of his hard tyre. And it looked deep again here for JMS, who made the mistake in the first sector, and now Capel's going to have another shot back at the outside line here. And, wow, JMS pretty close, sure just cut the entire chicane, but will in turn take the ability to get himself in front nonetheless. So Honey Badger comes in, JMS comes in, Jin comes in. Both of the 6th and 7th, Jin and JMS, start on the medium tyre. So it'll be interesting to see where they go to next. Capel against Owen. It's the battle now. Capel 12 laps in on the soft tyres. I can't tell whether or not there has been a pit stop as of yet. I guess we'll figure it out as we go along. So G-Dan is currently in the lead of this race, 2 seconds ahead of Filthy. I'm not entirely sure what happened for that gap to be a thing. But Owen in the lead of this race in terms of the actual net pit stops as well. So we've got a difference between the actual leader on track and the leader in terms of the actual race lead, which we're currently gonna get figured out later on. Let's see what we got for now. We got Owen versus Capel. Owen to the outside. Can he get it done? Nope, he cannot. Capel's going to defend the inside pretty well there, and in turn should get a better exit, albeit if he doesn't get on the grass, that would be the case. It looks like Owen might have a run here. Owen is definitely going to the inside. He's got enough to the inside now to say that he's alongside. He is now definitely alongside, but on the outside of Spoon's Curve, that's going to allow for Capel just to set himself up on the inside and take a really nice line and make it really easy to defend himself on the inside there in the second sector. Down towards the big end of the second sector now goes Owen and Capel, and nothing is really going to happen down towards 130R here. And it's not really going to happen at all here for Owen. I'll wait and see whether or not G-Dan and Filthy and company come into the pits. Because Owen is currently the leader of this race. Is there a pit stop coming? There is a pit stop coming. Capel is now into the pits, and G-Dan as well. So Filthy stays out. Filthy's on the medium tyre still. Owen went from his soft to his medium, so we'll see how long he plans on taking this. It'll be very interesting as we go along. BX has a long way to catch up. Both of them now on the medium tyre, albeit one has the hard to go to, the other one has the soft to go to at the end of this race. So BX should, in theory, start to make up a ton of lap time. You got Skinsy, who's currently in 5th. Actually, no, is he going to... Actually? Oh, he is going to beat Capel out. He is going to beat Capel out of the pits. Is he going to beat Jin? And Jin is going to fight Capel into turn 2, and it's not going to happen for Jin like it did for Skinsy. Capel is out in 6th. Now Bodnian behind that. I think G-Dan has got, yeah, G-Dan's got a penalty, cut the pit lane. And that is not good news. That'll mean JMS will go through. Dude is here as well. Vicky off into the pit top of his hard tyres. He's got 30 moves and Skittles. And this race has just not come to any of them at all. In this one, we're going to work our way up the grid right now. G-Dan only a second ahead of JMS, but with 3 seconds, so it should be fairly easy before for JMS to get past G-Dan at the end of this lap. Here comes Jin, looking against Capel. Capel now on the medium tyres. Came off of the softs, I believe it was. Was in the first 12 laps. And now Jin to the inside. A little bit of a switchback attempt there from Jin, who's now bashing this inside of the car with Capel. And clearly sees that he doesn't have enough alongside at this point to try and have a go at that Mazda. But that Mazda is going to allow him to the outside. And, well, we saw this with what happened with Owen. And Capel will gladly let you to the outside because that means he's going to win that battle every day of the week. And it's we're still trying to figure things out here. Everyone is still going through their first pit stops. Not everyone has pit yet, so Filthy not pit. Owen has now got in front of him and is in the lead of this race for real. Both on track and from a pit stop as well. Pit stop perspective. Gets himself in front of the tier 3 driver on track. And, well, quite frankly, only 9 seconds up the road from BX, who is closing in rather rapidly. But Honey Badger is currently in 3rd. Must have had a bit of a problem or two here, because he's now 11 seconds behind BX, where he was actually in front of BX not that long ago. Skinsy is currently in 5th with 7 seconds of a disadvantage to Honey Badger in 2.2 ahead of Capel, who's fighting against Jin. And Jin also has Bodnian on the back of him now, so this is going to be our next battle here in this race. We also have a trio at the end of the 4 that we're currently watching. We'll see whether or not things are going to unfold how things are going to unfold here. Skinsy gaining a little bit of time here on Capel. Skinsy is on this medium, well actually 1 medium tire, so Capel should be going a little bit quicker than he currently is. Being a tier 1 driver, he should be able to catch up to Skinsy, but having a little bit of trouble denting into that gap right now. Cannot needs a exclamation mark read in the YouTube chat because he is oh, Capel's gone deep! Capel's gone deep! Capel has got very deep there. Spoon's curving. I think he might be about to hit gravel. He's got an absolute nightmare of that corner. And that is not good news there for Capel, who could have caught Skinsy and is now having to do damage control here against these two, Jin and Bodnian. And Jin defending to the inside there against Bodnian and does it well enough. They hold on to 6th place. He's just inherited from Capel's mistakes. As we go down toward turn 1 now, Jin is still ahead of Bodnian. Oh, and it looks like that was a bit of contact on the inside there from Bodnian on Jin, and somehow both of those cars are still, well, not sideways. That was rather impressive for both of them to hold that. I'm not entirely sure there's a way both of them should have made it out alive from that, but they did. And that is a commendable job by both drivers. Albeit Bodnian made a little bit of an error on the braking there in the first place. Capel now 3 seconds off the back, 4 seconds even off the back of Bodnian, with Dude now in 9th. You know, Skinsy, who's comfortably ahead of this group, is 2.6 seconds ahead of Jin now, gaining time on them as well. But he is a mile and a half away from Honey Badger, who currently sits in 4th as we go through the hairpin. And yeah, so we still have Filthy who needs to pit. BX is now closing in the gap. It's now, I think it's 7.1 seconds here to Owen, and was 11th at the start of at the start of the stint. BX was quite a considerable amount behind. It looks like Filthy has finally called it quits from those medium tyres. So Owen, 7 seconds pretty much to the dot ahead of BX. So Honey Badger just starting to make his way through the final sector now. Can he get himself in front of Filthy? I think he would. Here comes Jin and Bodnian. They're still going at each other. Jin is still ahead of Bodnian for now. The only real close battle we currently have on the track. We've got Skinsy in front by 2.3 seconds at the moment. They're actually losing time to these two that we're currently watching. We go down towards turn 1. Filthy is still getting himself a fresh tyres in the pits and a fresh layer of fuel as well. Here goes Bodnian to the inside again. Playing a bit cautious as Jin makes a mistake. Makes a really bad mistake there on the outside of turn 1 and just does not get his car slowed down in the slightest. And that would just allow Bodnian to skip on through without much of a trouble, without much of an issue. As Capel is now going to start trying to head right back towards the towards Jin. Sorry, we go into into halfway through lap 16 here. Bodnian now trying to catch up to Skinsy. He's got a decent chunk of time to catch up. And then Skinsy's got, needing a miracle right now, or a spin or something from Honey Badger to make himself onto the top 3. It's 6.4 now for Owen, and Owen must realise that he has hard to do, and BX probably realises that BX has soft to do, so there's no real stopping this right now unless he can find some medium pace, which he just currently does not have. So he's got to get a lot of things right here, Owen, otherwise he is going to get charged down extremely quickly. As Honey Badger must have had a bit of a mistake somewhere in the spin smooth curve maybe, because that's gone down from 8, nearly 9 seconds to 6. Just above 6 here between Skinsy and Honey Badger. So Honey Badger's made a mistake. The Skinsy starting to make his way back. He also gained 2 tenths on Bodnian as well in that lap, as both the mechs just not having a nice time on that one particular lap. But lap 16 did not treat either of them well. It occurred to me the other day, I was told the other day, that these Mazdas have wax pub on it. The name of wax pub on the side of it. And yeah, it's the Queen's Head there on the side of the car. Nice little, nice livery there, by the way. I like. It's not like the mustard gold that we've seen for a bunch of people in the past, me included. It's a nice looking car, that Mazda. So, Owen, 5.1. BX is catching him at the rate of knots. Currently an entire second a lap being chalked into Owen's time right now. And then also Honey Badger 5.6 between him and Skinsy now. So Skinsy's starting to chalk into that mix. But into that mix gap as well. It's about 3 seconds and a lap and a half between Honey Badger and Skinsy. Skinsy, however, losing ground quite rapidly here to Bodnian. Bodnian was over 2.5 seconds, now 1.6. We got Jin and Capel. Capel has finally caught back up to Jin, which is the guy the guy who was fighting earlier on. Albeit it's in very different circumstances now, given that Bodnian and Skinsy are very much in the distance. A Dude in 8th, Filthy in 9th right now, G9 in 10th, JMS in 11th, Moose King in 12th, who's 23 seconds off of JMS. Peaky has definitely not got going at all. We're also Skittles ahead of 30 right now, and Tier 6 is not being shown very well today. Albeit one of them, I'm pretty sure someone barreled through 30 at the start. Skittles currently beating his Tier 6 rival right now. Peaky, the worst of the Tier 3 drivers as of this point in this race. Moose losing a battle to his teammate once again. JMS and G-Dan at the tier 4 battle in this race. G-Dan currently 2.8 seconds ahead of that one. Filthy, the next up tier 3 driver, as he is currently 6/10 ahead of tier 4 lead in G-Dan. They got Dude, who tier 2 champion, losing his battle as well. Honey Badger currently in third. We're going through. G-Dan got reasonably close to that the Filthy in the Lexus in front of him. And it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get him here. G-Dan just having a little bit of a problem. Stop behind that Lexus right now. The Lexus on the hard. G-Dan is now on the mediums after they started on the reverse tyre from each other here, G-Dan and Filthy. Which could be an interesting look into tier 3 next season before it even starts. G-Dan versus Filthy going into the first of the Declan, down into the second of the Declan. It's not really going to happen here for G-Dan. Can he make it happen down into the hairpin? It doesn't look like he will be able to. He's not got the run. He might be able to make a little bit of a scent. Chooses not to, but Filthy's giving him the room nonetheless, and Filthy's got it wrong. Filthy's got that tremendously wrong, but the inside line in the following corner is still going to give him an opportunity to hold on for dear life, which he does not take. And G-Dan gets by up into 9th place, going into Spoon Curve. Honey Badger! Honey Badger's got something very wrong here. He's dropped down into 8th, he was 3rd. And he hasn't pit, and he's all over the place. What is going on with Honey Badger's car right now? Honey Badger's got problems. Honey Badger has a problem, I'm not entirely sure what it is. Nonetheless, G-Dan gets in front of Filthy, stays in front of Filthy. Honey Badger is just all over the place right now. As the dude comes through the final corner. Yeah, Honey Badger's in the wall again. He can't fire up his car. Never mind. He can't. He literally cannot turn to the right. What is happening here? Honey Badger cannot turn to the right, and this is quite a spectacular sight. Wow. Okay then, right. Pit time there for Skindy. Skindy is now going onto the soft tyres with 11 to go. That is incredible. I wonder if he still can't. He's still struggling there, Honey Badger. And Skittles is just getting out of the way. I think that I thought that was an actual car for a minute, then I saw number 14. And that is Skittles getting out of the way. Blue flag in this race so far. Capel still just cannot make a move here on Jin. Jin, tier 5 champion, doing well to hold off tier 1. Well, almost race winner Capel here. Second and a third in the final couple of weeks. Had a race win taken off of him by the stewards, and Jin just goes extremely deep. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. It was almost like Jin didn't even want to turn in for the corner. Almost like he was absolutely just trying to give that place up, and oh, Capel's just going to stroll right the way through that one and not really care about it. We got going through. Owen now 4/10 of a second as the clouds go grey. There might still be enough time for rain here. Nonetheless, we'll see whether or not that can happen. Capel's now come off of his medium tyres. It's going to be hard to go on next. As he goes, as we watch Owen and BX through the end of the first sector, up the hill they go. Into the first of the Degnans. Owen still have the advantage for now. Albeit one has to go to the hards, the other one to the soft. BX is the one that needs the soft tyre at the end of this race. BX touches a little bit of grass, almost lost the car for a split second there. That'll allow a little bit of breathing room there for Owen, as Turty is in the background there being lapped. Owen doing just about enough right now against BX. BX needing to find a little bit more pace, a little bit of a something to make this overtake happen. Either that or just wait for the next pit stop, either or. I think he'll be fine either way, as long as that next pit stop is not under rainy conditions. We're going now through Spoon Curve. Owen is still the lead of this race. That gap is shrinking and it continues to shrink. Yeah, your wheel died, and so you could. That's what caused you to not be able to turn right. Ah, that makes a lot more sense now. That makes a lot more sense. Owen still ahead of BX. They both get on the grass a little bit there. You don't want to be doing that too often. Make your tyres a bit too much, too warm to defend. Owen knows that he has to pit sooner rather than later. BX will have to do so too. Or are we going to see a double pit stop here? Are we going to see the both head into the pit? No, we're not. Owen into the pit. BX is still out on the track. Gets probably one more lap out of those medium tyres if he's lucky. You know, Bodnian, who's in third right now. Owen should get in and out, probably ahead of Bodnian. I just forearms my mic there. Apologies if you got any sort of hitting effect from that. And Bodnian comes in as well, so we're not even going to have to pose the question this time. Jin in as well. Dude looking to stay out, so dude in his, that's actually a really nice colour. I like that Viper. I like that Viper livery. Really nice colour. The grey in particular. But yeah, Bodnian's changing tyre. Jin is changing tyre now. Filthy also in to change off of his hard tyres. G-Dan stayed out on the mediums for now. Mediums still on the car for Dude, for Owen and for BX as well. I think G-Dan may have, no, I'm not entirely sure if G-Dan's made all of his stop yet. We'll wait and see as we go along. Bodnian is now out ahead of Skinsey. Well, Bodnian was in third in the first place, stays net P3, and you had Skinsey not that far back with Capel also trying to fight his way through in the process. Staying is in 7th right now. It hasn't been doing particularly well when it comes to endurance races lately. And 40 minutes is more his style. I mean, literally the race we had on Friday at Spa, he got beat to me, so that should be telling you what kind of position that Capel has been in this season, especially in endurance races. Albeit he's driving the Mazda here. As we go through, BX is now into the pits off the medium tyres. We'll see where he is in comparison to Owen, who did undercut him, so he should, in theory, be out behind Owen. We'll wait and see if that turned out to be the truth or not in a minute. So, Jin behind Filthy. Filthy done both of his pit stops now. Moose King in 10th. Peaky in 11th. JMS in 13th. And Skittles and Honey Badger have both left the session. Honey Badger's is understandable, given the fact that Honey Badger is essentially literally couldn't turn. Is BX out ahead of him? BX going down the straight, down towards turn 1, and he got him! BX has got him! Just, but BX has got him! It's impossible with the amount of cars in a race of champions without having 7 tiers for this to be a completely one make race, because there has to be at least 3 from both the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 championships. So you have to get something at the moment. So BX now into the lead of this race. Owen also on the soft tyres. I thought Owen had started on the soft, which might turn this one interesting sooner rather than later. I might be seeing things, but I'm not entirely sure. You know, G-Dan currently in third, doing a nice little job here representing tier 4 well, and Bodnian is 10 seconds off of him, and Skinsey is now once again fighting with his Mazda friend Mazda friend Capel in the first of the Deckners here, and the second of the Deckners coming up. But we're continuing to walk through. As Skinsey is still hanging on against Capel here. Capel on the softs, Skinsey on the soft, so it's just a case of they've both got equal machinery. Who's got the better run? Who's got the better skills? Who's got the better track time? It doesn't look like Capel's having a nice time getting on those brakes today. We'll say that much. He seems to be finding a little bit too much speed into these corners at basically every opportunity right now. And that'll allow Skinsy a little bit of a breathing room. So we've got 7 seconds into Phil being 7th. Jin in 8th right now from tier 5. So we've got 2 tier 1s, followed by a tier 4, tier 2, tier 3, a tier 1. And so all 3 tier 1 drivers occupy the top 6 right now. Bear in mind, I think G-Dan still has to pit. I am not aware. I don't believe Bodnian does. So it should be the top 5 occupied by all 3 tier 1 drivers at this point in time. So we'll wait and see as we go toward the end of this race. We're on lap 23 now. Everyone has to do enough. Everyone has to do at least 1 lap on that tyre, on a particular tyre, on every tyre, shall I say, actually, not a particular tyre, every tyre available to them. And it doesn't look like we're getting rain today, so everyone must do 1 on the hards, 1 on the mediums, 1 on the softs at the absolute least. So, BX and Owen is still fighting. You've got Capel and Skinsy fighting here as well, and Owen is 0.8 of a second behind BX. I don't think Owen has put on the hards, but I could be entirely wrong. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure he started on the softs. If that is the case, then he's in trouble. They've got another pit stop to come, but we'll wait and see. I believe there has been 2 pit stops for Owen so far. No, there's one that's certainly one that came on lap 21 there, as you can see, lap 20 to 21. So BX has managed to break that second gap now. Then G-Dan is still 60 seconds off the back of Owen. The new fastest lap, BX at 58.9 is absolutely ridiculous. And this one so far, 59.7. Owen's fastest lap, 2:01 for G-Dan so far. G-Dan is now heading into the pits, and I believe this is going to be a soft tyre going on his car, which I'm very surprised he did not decide to put more. We go through. G-Dan now losing a couple of places, and he's still ahead of Capel. Those two have done the required laps as of yet. Well, they have done them, but we used every single time. Soft, medium, soft, yep. Alright, I'm not going insane, I'm not seeing things, that's good to know. So Owen does still have to pit. I'm not entirely sure why he would have done this way. I'd almost certainly given up second doing it this way, but it is what it is. Currently 22 seconds ahead of Bodnian, and it's going to be close until he puts on those hard tyres. Yeah, Honey Badger is out of the room now. He's done for the day, considering his Jordy, do you read announcements at any point? If you've read the announcements, you know why I've been driving the Roadster. But it is what it is. We've still got Skinsy and Capel fighting it out here. That explains why you don't know why I'm driving the Roadster then, does it? But no, it's been announced, so I'll say it on stream so it saves you the time. We're revisiting the Mazda Cup next season. It's going to be on a Saturday, every other Saturday, interchangeable with the 2-hour endurance, which is still taking place on every other Friday. And yeah, so we're revisiting the Mazda Cup, and I'm part of the 2 drivers two of the helpers that are putting together said calendar at the moment. So I was just testing out tracks and what might be enjoyable on that. It also looked like someone had an absolute nightmare in that corner. I'll wait and see if things come to fruition here. Capel is starting to get a lot closer to Skinsy, going down towards turn 1. These two are undoubtedly in the same party, so I can imagine what is going on in that party right now. As Capel is really going after Skinsy, getting really close. Tier 1 versus Tier 3. Skinsy's been winning so far. But it is a very interesting proposition between the two right now. Owen still has to pit as well. But yeah. I'm not saying any more about the Mazda Cup because the Mazda Cup, well, everything about the tracks and that haven't been finalised yet. You'll get that announcement probably in a couple of weeks. But yeah, Skindy now getting himself back in front of, well, comfortably in front of Capel for now. 5 tenths split the two. He's doing just about enough to hold Capel off at this point in time. As we're going to just very quickly look down the rest of the order, see if there's any battles. I think someone else has quit as well. I think someone else has quit. I'm not entirely sure who it is. JMS G-Dan might have been. Oh, who the hell is it? You got Honey Badger and Skittles have quit. I know that much. Not entirely sure who else. I think it might have been Peaky actually, the third one that left the session. But Skindy holding off Capel for dear life right now. Yeah, it is Peaky. That's the question. That's my question at the end of the day, doesn't it? Peaky's the third one that has left the session. So it's down the 12 at the end of this race so far. We're through 25 of 30, about to go into lap 26 with Skindy and Capel here. And these two still fighting it out. Skindy still have the upper hand. Capel now pulls to the outside. They're going to go down toward turn 1 together. Skindy on the inside of turn 1 should have advantage. He's going to have a little bit of the grass as well. Capel trying to hang it around the outside. Is not able to do it. Now to the inside he goes. Definitely not able to make that move work in the end. It looked like he might have been able to swing it with the little bit of curve that he caught. But nope, Skindy is going to be able to hold on just a little bit longer here against Capel. Been a pretty good battle here for 5th. We're going to continue watching it. First and second are reasonably far away, so Viet should have this one under wraps unless he makes a mistake like he did earlier on in this race. Owen is currently in second, but I'm pretty sure Owen still has to pit. And Bodnian is not that far behind, I don't think. Actually, he actually looks pretty reasonably far behind. I don't know if it's a pit stop behind yet. So about 5 tenths of a second. So there's 21 seconds between Bodnian and Owen. It's actually lower than the last time we saw it. Owen will have to do at least 1 lap on the hard tyres, which is an absolute ludicrous pit strategy. But we're still going through. Capel is just not close enough to Skindy to make anything happen here. Wasn't close enough for Spoon, wasn't close enough down here into the 3rd sector. And is still not close enough now down into the final chicane. Skindy is starting to get a little bit of breathing room now. 5 tenths of a second with his championship livery on his car right now. Perry made that. Definitely tell Perry made that. As we're going through down towards the final couple of corners on the lap, now through toward turn 1. Capel needs to start gaining in a little bit more because Skindy is still holding on and quite frankly right now hasn't had much of a challenge in terms of holding on. And it doesn't look like he's going to have much of a challenge here either. Capel not close enough by the time turn 1 hits at all, and now needs to have an exceptional first sector in the dirty air just to be able to have a real shot here at Skindy. And it doesn't look like he's having it. Skindy's having a decent sector 1 of his own right. Capel goes a bit deep there through the final one in the S's. Up the hill they go now, and the gap was about 2 tenths, and now it's over a second as Capel went into the grass, and Skindy now has a lot of breathing room. Still waiting to see whether or not Owen gets out ahead of Bodnian. Bodnian might be able to snatch a P2 here for tier 2 if he can continue on. Skindy an arm and a leg away from Bodnian now, as he's also gained an entire second in a single sector here on Capel. who's 7 seconds ahead of Filthy, who's in 6th by himself. Dude, 2 seconds behind, looking for a top 6 finish. He would have taken that at the beginning of the day. We'll wait and see if he can manage it. Jidan in 8th, Jin in 9th, JMS in 10th, Moose in 11th, and 30 is 47 seconds off the pace of anyone else. We go through, we're going back to this little battle here. The closest on the grid as of right now, Skinsy versus Capale, and we'll have to keep an eye out on the Dude and Filthy as we go through. 1.7 seconds, it's actually 1.6 seconds splitting these two, and the Dude is catching, so that becomes the battle we're now going to watch. It's 1.3 seconds now between Dude and Filthy, and it's looking like Dude is going to be catching this with every closing lap. He's now got 3 laps for 1.2 seconds here on Filthy. Because at the end of the day, if you're top 2, anything 6 and above is a good day at the office. Anything below is considered a disappointment. Just want to be able to represent your tier reasonably well, and he is doing that. Well, he has a chance of getting himself into said top 6 right now. As they're going through with the last couple of laps here. Also got Capale, who is now kind of hovering about that 1.7, 1.8 second gap here with Skinsy, who is doing well enough defend at every opportunity he gets against Capale here, and every opportunity he got over the last so many laps before Capale made his mistake. And Capale making his mistake made this very, very easy here for Skinsy to hold on to that 4th place. I think he's a bit too far behind Owen after a pit stop, but I'm not entirely sure. We will wait and see when Owen does eventually go in to make his pit stop, because he will. He's used soft, medium, soft so far. You do have to use one lap on the hard tyres. Intergate is not available anymore, considering there is no rain on that meter. So there's no reason that you can pit onto the intermediate tyres. It will not count as a tyre for your race here. Dude has got really close to Filthy. He is now 3/10 as we head to the end of the 2nd sector. Will the Dude be able to make any move here? And that's going to be well defended from Filthy down toward this final chicane. And it looks like Filthy's going to be able to hang on for a split second longer. We headed to lap 29 with these two now, as Filthy now has a long straight to deal with and a Viper with good acceleration behind him. And there you go, Dude has already pulled alongside, and this might be the curtains on Filthy ending in the top 6. And it will be curtains on Filthy ending in the top 6. A Dude goes on by and makes the position his. Dude in the Viper having the collision with Peaky early on. Having a little bit of a tap there with Filthy in the beginning of the 1st sector, but nothing too substantial, as the Dude is now starting to break a little bit of a gap. As they head up into the hill, and probably the best part of the lap here for upcoming for the Viper. Definitely not dealing with the twist and turn of sector 1 so well, but it'll take the accelerated corner, the corners with the need for acceleration here, just to open the gap a little bit here to Peaky, and does exactly to Filthy, sorry, and does exactly that. G-Dam 4.1 seconds behind, has left it too little too late for a top 7 finish here. He's going to have to settle for 8th place here unless Jin's got something to say about it, and doesn't. So Dude has started to get away, and Capale is starting to close back in. Capale has got himself back within a second. And will he be able to do it? Will he be able to get Skinsy right at the end? Or will Skinsy be able to hang on? They've got 1 lap and a small amount of change left in this race. Also, Owen. Hard tyres, mate. So Owen's going to get disqualified. That's just bewildering. He knows the rules. He's been in one of these before. Owen, he hasn't. No, but that's the end of Owen's race. That's him disqualified. It took me a while to realise that, but Owen hasn't picked. He's done soft, medium, soft, and that is a disqualification, so you can take his name off the board. I'm pretty sure it's even though it's a minute penalty, and minute penalty is going to take him all the way back. Even Jin, who's in 9th, has the wherewithal that he has to pit again. Come on, lads, you're better than that. There's a 1 minute penalty, yeah, which takes him, essentially takes him the entire way down the board. He's currently, what, 6 seconds off, so it'll take him just ahead of Jin. So effectively all the way down in 8th. So position gained for basically everyone then. So Owen hasn't pit. He hasn't done a hard tyre lap at all. At least I don't think he has anyway. Really wish you had the F1 race director thing that you could just go on and pinpoint the laps now. But you can't, unfortunately. And only 12 drivers. Well, Honey Badgers, we go through. BX wins rather comfortably in the end against, well, in Suzuka. Owen is going to have his minute penalty tacked on. Bosnian's going to get second as a result. I'll answer your question in a minute, Biggie. So, BX wins the ROC here, and that was realistically never in doubt, even after a spin. Owen gets himself second, but we'll have to query that because I believe he's got penalties coming his way. Bosnian will get second. If Owen does get that minute penalty, Skinsey will put himself onto the podium for certain, as Capel will get fourth. Dude is going to get himself right ahead of, yeah, we'll get himself into 6th here. Filthy right up on DG Dan as well. Filthy will get 7th, G-Dan 8th for now. We'll see if he gets an extra position in a minute. Jin, with the pit stop to go onto the hard tyres, actually fulfilled his requirements of the race. And that means, but he won't get the benefit of Owen's penalty. I'm pretty sure Owen didn't start on the soft tyre, on the hard tyre. He didn't make a pit stop for the hard tyre, I can tell you that much. Owen has just realised that he has in fact meant to use the hard tyre. So Jin finishes the race in 9th, JMS finishes in 10th, Moose will just trundle across the line here in 30 and in 12th. So, as for everything that happened there, so the reason why we had 12 drivers in the end, Skittle spun 12 times apparently on his account and quit. Peaky, I'm not entirely sure what happened to Peaky, but Peaky was involved in lap 1 incident and did eventually quit as well. And Honey Badger, I kind of felt sorry for because he was going in the top 3 of this race, and then his wheel decided that right turns are not a thing, and died. So he didn't really have much of a choice but to quit because he quite literally couldn't turn anything other than a left direction. But yeah, there you go. That is it. That is everything you have for our race of champions today. It's been fun. It's been fun. I kind of wish we had a race at the front like we had last year at Nürburgring, but I digress. We didn't have that this time. BX had this in control from a very early point in this race. No, it's definitely not from the First Nations Cup auto. Definitely not a thing. But yeah, a lot of things happened there. And I'm glad you all decided to join me for this ride. But as a result, there's your final standings. I've been Pyro, this has been the Race of Champions. And I will see you guys likely later in the week to do some tier 4, tier 2, tier 5 and tier 2 cons, and catch up on everything that I haven't done already because I have a lot to do. But until next time, in a bit.